Unfiltered.
I'm not sold. I'm sorry.
Unapologetic.
I'm not trying to talk about him.
Unlike anyone else.
But knowing y'all
will probably make me.
This is the Stephen A. Smith Show.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to week number 2 of the new Stephen A. Smith Show over the airwaves. Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82. Number to call up, as always, is 888 Mad Dog 6. That's 888-623-3646. 888 Mad Dog 6 is the number to call up. That's 888-623-3646. I got a lot of stuff to get into today. I mean, if you're talking about opening week of the National Football League season, it doesn't get much better than what we've witnessed. We saw the Eagles and the Cowboys go at it Thursday night in a thrilling victory for the Eagles at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We saw the Chargers serve notice to the Kansas City Chiefs and everybody else in the National Football League that Justin Herbert can indeed be that dude throwing the football, getting things done. And Jim Harbaugh kind of knows what he's doing as a head football coach in the National Football League and upending the Kansas City Chiefs in Brazil. And then yesterday took place. We saw that bad man, Aaron Rodgers, of the New York, supposedly of the New York Jets, now a Pittsburgh Steeler, going up against his old team, the New York Jets, and Justin Fields. There's a lot to get into about that, but there's no question where we got to start off the show. It's on that thriller that took place Sunday night, NBC television. It was a thriller. Make no mistake about it. And I don't think anybody saw coming what we ultimately witnessed. 41-40. An improbable victory by the Buffalo Bills over the Baltimore Ravens. Now, a lot of people will think that the story is about Josh Allen and that stud that he is, because he is a stud. The reigning league MVP threw for about 394 yards, 2 touchdowns, 33 of 46 along the way. Okay, only sacked one time. Josh Allen was absolutely positively spectacular. There's no way around it. He was absolutely positively spectacular. There's no way to get around it. But even with all of that being said, and Keon Coleman showing out in the second half with 7 receptions for about 95 yards and a touchdown, the story is the Baltimore Ravens. When are they going to be ready? This is my pick to win it all, y'all. This is my pick to win the chip, to capture that Super Bowl championship. There is no denying what they have. They have everything in place, or so we believed. And for 3.5 quarters, I'm watching them run roughshod, okay, over the Buffalo Bills. Derrick Henry was a man amongst boys, as usual, rushing the football 18 times, 169 yards, averaging 9.4 yards a carry, scampering for a 49-yard run 1 minute, a 20-yard run another minute, just running over people, swatting away grown men like flies. This is who Derrick Henry is. This is what he brings to the table. We know this. And with him being able to run the football so effectively, Buffalo seeming ill-equipped to have any kind of answer for him, and then Lamar Jackson scampering out of the pocket, out of the claws of oncoming defenders and what have you. Seeing all of that, we said to ourselves, yo, what the hell are you going to do with these boys? Because I don't know what you're going to be able to do with the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson. And then all of a sudden, everything changed. Everything changed. Ed Oliver knocked the ball out of Derrick Henry's hands after they had a 40-25 lead. In the fourth quarter, you knock the ball out of his hands. It's recovered by linebacker Terrell Bernard. Ultimately, Josh Allen converts that into a 1-yard rush. I mean, what do you say? You're coming back from all of these deficits. This is what I'm talking about. We could sit up there and talk about the Buffalo Bills all we want to and their resilience. And no doubt Josh Allen talked about that. But the real story is the collapse by the Baltimore Ravens. You had a 15-point lead with over 5 minutes left. You had an 8-point lead with 3 minutes left. And somehow, some way, you don't get it done. You got the ball on a 4th and 3 with a little over 1:30 left. You can't give the ball back to Josh Allen. He had shown you already the way he was balling in the fourth quarter that there was nothing you could do for over 200 yards in the fourth quarter. You don't give that man the ball back. You do everything you can. And since the strength of your team is clearly the offense, and you got Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry doing what they wanted to do, when they wanted to do it, how they wanted to do it, you, if you're John Harbaugh, the renowned, stellar head coach for the Baltimore Ravens, you've got to go for it on a 4th and 3. I don't care what anybody says, because you cannot punt the ball and put the ball back in Josh Allen's hands when all he needs is a field goal to win it. You can't do that. You just can't. You can't. But John Harbaugh did it anyway. He did it anyway. And because he did it anyway and punted and gave the ball back to Josh Allen, the Buffalo Bills ended up winning this game. Obviously, John Harbaugh had something to say about this extremely disappointing loss. Listen to what he had to say.
Very disappointing. We're just going to have to regroup and get ready to go play a long season. We got 16 games in front of us. Good football team, tough environment. Obviously, we did many good things, but we didn't play well at the end. Two big situations, the 4th down play. I mean, that's kind of a play that you don't really expect to happen. I mean, it's pretty lucky play.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm a fan of John Harbaugh. I think he's a big-time coach. He's a Super Bowl champion coach. Remember, they beat Colin Kaepernick in the Baltimore and San Francisco 49ers years ago in the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Where Ray Lewis was out there. No weapon! Remember that, Ray Lewis? The great Ray Lewis? John Harbaugh is a great coach. Here's the reality. And he wins more than he loses. And he's a leader. But we have to be fair. There's 17 blown double-digit leads in his career, most of which came in the 4th quarter. And then when we hearken back to some of the trials and tribulations, just think about coming into the season. What did we say? We said the only team that could beat the Ravens is the Ravens because they found a way to get in their own way. Last year during the playoffs, Mark Andrews drops a 2-point conversion late in a 27-25 defeat to the Buffalo Bills, same stadium, same football field. Year before that, they lost to Kansas City because they were turnover prone, mistake filled. We know that. Last year in the opener, Lamar Jackson missed a couple of wide open receivers, and Isaiah Likely tried to imitate Kevin Durant, having feet that were too damn big and his toes stepped out of bounds. Every time you turn around, the Baltimore Ravens do something to get in their own damn way. Now, we got a 2-time MVP in Lamar Jackson. They got a stud in Derrick Henry, who's a man-child. And by the way, just Saquon Barkley was so spectacular last year, rushing for 2,005 yards, that we forgot that Derrick Henry ran for over 1,900. You got Zay Flowers, who balled last night. You got Devontae Adams with his one-handed catch. You got tight ends with Andrews and Lively and Likely. I mean, they're not missing much, if anything. But somehow, some way, the Baltimore Ravens always seem to get in their own damn way. Now, I still got them winning the Super Bowl championship. Whether y'all agree with me or not, let me know. Mad Dog Sports Radio, Sirius XM, Channel 82, this new Stephen A. Smith show. Just debuted last week, 2nd week on the job. Number to call up is 888 Mad Dog 6. That's 888-623-3646. I'm still rolling with the Ravens, even though I'm a Steelers fan. I'm still rolling with the Ravens. But do y'all agree with me? You know the number. Holla at your brother. And by the way, it ain't the only way to holla at me. Got this Get Serious app that we just introduced to y'all last week. Because some of y'all can't get online. Some of y'all are scared when you do get online. A matter of fact, some of the takes, I would say, have been pretty damn soft. If you're going to call up into the show, if you certainly going to leave me a message, you need to be a bit more vibrant. Got a little fire in your belly. Let me know how you feel. Go to SiriusXM.com, get serious. And make sure that you send in your voicemail messages. And if I like them enough, I'll play them. No problem for me at all. Before I go to break, you don't think I'm going to start off the show and not mention that bad man, Aaron Rodgers, do you not? Jets fans, J-E-T-S, Jets, sit your ass down. Sit down. Now, Justin Fields' ball yesterday afternoon, got to give credit where credit is due. 16 for 22, 208 yards. I thought he was great. I really, really did. Rushed for 48 yards, by the way. That cat, Breece Hall, can ball. Had 107 yards rushing, averaging nearly 6 yards a carry. I got it. Garrett Wilson is no joke either. 7 receptions, 95 yards. But they want Aaron Rodgers. 22 of 30, 244 yards, 4 touchdowns, a 136.7 quarterback rating. Aaron Rodgers was special. He was special. And we're going to get in more about him in a few minutes, okay? But I just wanted to put it out there. Y'all must have forgot. And that's what he told y'all. You're listening to the Stephen A. Smith Show on Sirius XM, Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82. 888-623-3646 is the number to call up. That's 888-MAD-DOG-6. I'll get back to your calls and more in just a few minutes, okay? You know where to find me right here on Sirius XM, Mad Dog Sports Radio. I will get back to you in a few minutes, but not before I bring a Buffalo Bill on the line. Dion Dawkins, other Buffalo Bills, in the house with yours truly up next. Don't go away. You're listening to the Stephen A. Smith Show. Mad Dog Sports Radio, Sirius XM, Channel 82. Back with more in a minute.
Back to the Stephen A. Smith Show on Mad Dog Sports Radio.
16 minutes past hour number 1 back here on the new Stephen A. Smith Show, Sirius XM, Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82. Number to call up as always is 888-MAD-DOG-6. That's 888-MAD-DOG-6, 888-623-3646. I'll get back to your calls or get to your calls in just a few minutes, but damn it, y'all gonna have to wait because I got a big timer on the line with us right now. Haven't seen this man since I saw him in Miami, about a year or so ago. The star left tackle for the Buffalo Bills, 9th NFL season. Has been selected to 4 consecutive Pro Bowls. Has only missed 3 games in his whole damn entire career. One of the elite ones, the one and only Dion Dawkins of the Buffalo Bills right here with yours truly right now. What's going on, Big Time? How are you, man? How's everything?
Stephen A., man, I know you're not calling me Big Time. You the truth, man. You are Mr. Big Time, bro. But good morning. It's good to hear your voice. And, yeah, it's definitely been a long time since Ocean Prime in Miami.
No doubt. It's always good to see you, man. So proud of you. So proud of what you're doing. I had to get a Buffalo Bill on the show today. I'm not going to lie to you. It's 5 minutes left in the game. It's 40-25. I'm thinking y'all are done. How the hell did y'all come back? I know it was a fumble by Derrick Henry and all of that. But just put into perspective as a member of the Buffalo Bills, how y'all came back and won this game last night.
Hey, Steven, I'm going to tell you the honest truth, and I'm going to always be honest. On that sideline, when Derrick Henry broke the tackle and went up the sideline and scored, I said, I don't know. I don't know. But we always have a chance, right? And when you got like 17, like Josh Allen, he came over and he said, look, it looks a little bad, but we're still in the game. And when we looked at the score and it was like, all right, like we could still have a chance, we actually still do have a chance. And we're like, all right, let's just get on the field, protect this kid. And that's all. And we did. And 17 made magic happen because I definitely thought, I was like, bro, there's no way. That's the truth. That's the honest truth.
Dion,
like the truth is, yeah. But you look at it and you're like, oh, snap. Like, come on now. But, yeah.
Dion, here's the thing. When you sometimes, as spectators, as folks that only get to watch because we're not as talented as y'all to do what y'all do, we're watching a game, right? And sometimes you see a collective beatdown. Like, for example, I'm watching the Colts play the Miami Dolphins yesterday. That was a collective beatdown. When we watched you guys last night, even though y'all were at a deficit, we just simply looked at Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson and said, damn, they ready. They just don't have an answer for those two brothers. Was that how y'all were taking it? Was that how y'all were absorbing it in the moment?
Yeah, because, like, when you look at a roster and you look at Derrick Henry and you look at the former, like, I don't know, like, he's been MVP, like, candidate
right.
and won so many times, like, but, like, you're looking at it and you're like, bro, these boys ain't no joke. And when you hit the field and they just steamrolling and they're just doing what they do well, but then you think about it, like, look, this is like a big conference game. Right, and these are conference games, and these conference games are like end-of-the-season playoff games. So we knew that they were going to be who they were. They was going to run and throw, and Lamar was going to do his thing. But when it comes down to it, we also have the current MVP. So, we kind of got a little more hope in our guy. But it was fun. It was fun, and hopefully that answered that. But you definitely look at it, you see it, and you just adjust because – great on great, Gladiators against another Gladiator team. And it seems like this NFL team has definitely did what they are supposed to do, and they got good teams in the NFL.
Dion Dawkins, star left tackle for the Buffalo Bills right here on the Stephen A. Smith Show, Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio. Lamar Jackson did not have a bad game. He had a pretty damn good game, to be quite honest with you. He ran for about 70 yards. He threw for over 200 yards. But he wasn't Josh Allen, who basically took it up to another level, the reigning league MVP, and really showed out, particularly in the fourth quarter. As a teammate of Josh Allen, I mean, it's one thing for us to marvel at him and his greatness. What is it like for y'all having him as a teammate and as your star quarterback, the most important position in the National Football League? What is it like having Josh Allen as a teammate?
Hey, Steve, I think the biggest thing that I could say, it's almost like growing up in a household and having like the best big little brother ever, right? Somebody that's going to do the extra, somebody who's going to get you the extra, somebody who's going to take the blame for you, somebody who's going to say, Mom, it was me. Dad, I did it. Leave Dion, leave those guys alone. It was on me. Josh is that guy. And when you walk around and you look at him every day and you see his turf burn on his leg and he's limping, and then when it's practice time, it's almost like it's not even there, and he's just stepping and steamrolling day by day by day by day by day. That is our guy, right? Josh is just that guy. He's that guy that cares. He's that guy that loves his team. He loves his family, and he loves on us. And because he does that, we want to do everything for him to make him have the best success ever. Because the biggest thing that I think about, Stephen, is I don't want to derail anything that he is doing for his greatness journey. I want to be the best version for Josh Allen as his left tackle. And he is that for us. He gets us out of trouble as a quarterback, and I'm thankful for him.
I got to tell you something right now, man. I usually don't veer left like this, but let me take a moment to give the brother props. Usually when you're a high-end athlete and stuff like that, people joke around and stuff like that. You don't need distractions. You don't need distractions. This man, let me give props to the new wife, Hallie Steinfeld. I mean, people don't realize, you got to go see that movie Sinners if you don't know about her. She's big time.
100%.
She's big time.
100%.
I got a lot of love for her. She can act. I like her. I just want to make sure everybody talk about Taylor Swift and all of that stuff. Well, damn it, Hallie Steinfeld, that woman could act, and she looks damn good. So tell Josh I said congratulations on that. Let me tell him I said congratulations on that.
A big-time wife for a big-time player.
Damn right.
Josh deserves every bit of it, and I'm thankful that they are in our corner and they are our new family. And Haley is family. She's here for life, and I'm glad that Josh has that energy source. He's going home and enjoying every day.
Yes, he is. Major props to him. Dion Dawkins right here with Stephen A. How come if somebody said, why can't y'all get over the hump and beat Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs? What would be your answer to that question?
Man, I wish I had the answer. You know, Patrick Mahomes does different things. I don't think that there's a hump. I think that it's great teams play each other. Like for example, yesterday, the game could have went this way or the game could have went that way. It's like rock, paper, and scissors shoot. Like if you're only throwing rock and scissor, there's a 50-50 chance. If you're flipping a coin, it's 50-50. So it can go either way anytime both teams come up, and it's just that happens that in the earlier years they've had our ticket, and it's okay because as long as we have a chance and opportunity to be on the field, there's always a chance for a W, and I always got our chips in our corner.
Y'all gave up 40 points last night. Should we look at that and say, look, man, defense got to play a lot better, or should we be looking at it and saying, damn it, everybody ain't got Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry? Which one should it be?
Man, I'm going to tell you right now, you can't look at that in no way of this nothing. That is two great teams doing it. That's almost like having some of the best scorers playing against each other and saying, how come the score is 100 to 100? You got some of the best players in the world on the field. People are going to score. People are going to make tackles. People are going to break tackles. People are going to make plays. The field is filled with star impact players, right? Good things are going to happen and bad things are going to happen. You have two of the MVPs on the field at the opposite times, but at the same time, Josh Allen and Lamar. Teams are going to score. Points are going to go up. Tackles are going to make, penalties are going to be called, flags are going to be thrown. And that's just the way championship ball looks like.
That's the last couple of questions before I let you get on out of here, Dion Dawkins. I really appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule, my man, especially after such a big win last night. Thank you so much. I got to ask you, as somebody that never thought about playing football, my skinny ass, I wouldn't think about getting on a football field. Let me be very, very clear about that. Never in my lifetime. But I got to tell you something. When I watched Kansas City get destroyed in the Super Bowl by the Philadelphia Eagles, this past February. One of the things that entered my mind was that no matter how great they are, and anybody with sense would appreciate and recognize their greatness and never underestimate them, the flip side to it is that you saw an Eagles team not blitz, not one time. They sent 4 to rush Patrick Mahomes. And to me, it just embedded in the brains of competition everywhere. They can be had.
Yeah.
They're not invincible. We can take them. Is that what the Buffalo Bills were thinking about this entire offseason, knowing what happened to Kansas City in the Super Bowl?
I would say no. It's just more so this. The offensive line needs more credit, and it shows how valuable the offensive line is. When this game popped up and the Super Bowl and was going on, and the first thing that I noticed was they didn't have their left tackle, I said there's no chance that they could win this game. And when it comes down to it, you have your star receivers, you have your star running back, Saquon, you have your star quarterbacks. When it comes down to it, none of that can be done without an offensive line. And their offensive line had a couple of injuries, and I think if they had their O-line, the game would have turned out a little bit different. It would have been a better show. But I don't know if they would have won. I don't know if they would have lost still. But I know that it would have been a different outcome, and the game would have looked drastically different if the O-line was intact. But that's what we look at, and that's why this season we're looking at longevity. Players need to be on the field and be present. We don't have our guys. We don't have the right chance.
Is this y'all best chance to win the Super Bowl this season?
Every year with Josh Allen, I think we got a chance.
I look at him, and what I rave about is that when you got a star, I always say, just don't let it be you. Don't you be the reason y'all lost. And I'm looking at Josh Allen's career in the postseason, and never one time have we looked at the Buffalo Bills losing and said, no, it was him. We've never been able to do that.
Fact.
It's never been him. Is that something y'all pride yourself on? You look at him and you say, we got the man. We know we could get it done. Is that mentality?
Yes, sir. And that's the mentality, not just through Josh, but through everybody. Don't let it be you. Don't let your guy make the play. Don't let it be your fault. Everybody just do your job. Do your 111, handle your handle. 17 is going to be 17. And we got the kids back through every mistake, through every positive, through every negative, through it all. This is us. This is Buffalo Bills ball, and we love it.
Is this Super Bowl a bust for y'all this year?
Now, Steve, look, I don't believe that. That is not a real thing. Right. Super Bowl or bust is not a real thing.
Okay.
Because what does that mean, right? Does that just mean that, if we don't win the Super Bowl, that the Buffalo Bills, organization is just going to be gone? Right. No, that is not a real thing. Whenever we have a chance to go through OTAs and we have a chance to have a team during camp, we have a chance. So it's Super Bowl chance every year. That's how I see it. There is never a bust. There's no bust. That's not a real thing. Cool. But, yeah, we have a chance. That's all we ever need.
Last question for you. Was this victory last night a big-time victory, something that y'all view as really, really cementing the fact that, you know what, we all knew you were a Super Bowl contender to begin with, but y'all are coming? Or you got that player's mentality that this was just another victory, just a regular old victory or regular season? Which one is it?
I would lie if I said that this is just another victory, but anytime that you could beat a valuable team that has a chance to win a Super Bowl every year, it's a big win, right? And it's a big win for a couple of days. It's a big win for that night and for Monday, but Tuesday, it's over with. And then we'll get on to Jets Week, which is Jets Week, and you see it for and what it is. You can't sugarcoat it and be like, oh, it's just another win. Heck no. We go back and forth every year with the Ravens and the Chiefs. So we understand that those are some of our prime wins. Those are our pinnacles. We need to make sure that those are no-brainer wins, and we understand. But, yes, it is a big win, just like they all are. But when you have former MVPs and Derrick Henrys and all these guys, it's a beautiful win, and we would rather have it. So I don't want to sugarcoat it. Yes, that is a big win, but it's only big for a couple days, and then we move on.
One of the best in the business, star left tackle, Dion Dawkins for the Buffalo Bills, perennial Pro Bowler, right here on the Stephen A. Smith Show, Sirius XM, Mad Dog Sports Radio. Appreciate your time, big boy. Thank you for making time out of your busy schedule, man. Really, really appreciate it. And congratulations on last night's wins. That was a big-time win. Improbable and big time, no doubt about it. Keep up the great work, bro.
Love you to death, dog, and I appreciate you, Stephen.
Same here, my man. Same here, my man. The one and only Dion Dawkins right here on the Stephen A. Smith Show. 888 Mad Dog 6 is always the number to call up. This 888-623-3646. Back to your calls and a whole slew of games. Aaron Rodgers and Justin Fields, Steelers and the Jets. The Bengals finally won a game to open the damn season. The coach shellacked the Miami Dolphins, okay? Baker Mayfield making noise in Tampa. Stafford still alive in L.A. The Chargers knocking off the Kansas City Chiefs. There's so much stuff to get into. And oh, by the way, this is a big week for me because you know I'm a big-time boxing fan. And Canelo Alvarez and Terrence Crawford going up with each other against Las Vegas this Saturday night. I've been waiting for years for this. I've been waiting for years. And now it's here. So I'm going to be talking boxing all week long. It's very, very rare that we get a big-time fight, y'all. Very, very rare that we get a big-time boxing match in Vegas. But we got that coming on this weekend. By the way, both of the fellas going to be on the show this week. Stay tuned. It's the Stephen A. Smith Show. Sirius XM, Mad Dog Sports Radio. Back with more in a minute.
Think you have what it takes to debate Stephen A? Call the show at 888-MAD-DOG-6. Here's Stephen A. Smith.
Now, look, you're already calling into the show. I hear you every damn day while you're waiting online, or if you aren't able to pick up the phone, that's where Get Serious comes in. It's your chance to drop me your options. Quick, interactive, and in real time. I'll be giving your takes to the official Stephen A. stamp of approval. That's right. You bring the heat, I'll rate it. You bring the nonsense, I'll let you know it's nonsense. And after I weigh in, oh, well, you can share it, put it out there, let your friends see what Stephen A. had to say about your take. So don't just sit back, don't just listen. Step into the arena. Get serious with yours truly. Right now at SiriusXM.com/Get Serious. 888-MAD-DOG-6 is always the number to call. It's 888-MAD-DOG-6. So look, let me get to a couple of other things before I get to it. 888-623-3646 before I get to your phone calls. I'm bringing up that bad man, Aaron Rodgers, because, ladies and gentlemen, even though I'm a native New Yorker, I am a Steelers fan. And I have suffered miserably for years. Steelers haven't had a quarterback since the last 2 years of Ben Roethlisberger being there. And I love Big Ben, and he's going into the Hall of Fame, and we should celebrate him. But, damn it, it's been a while since we had a quarterback. Mitchell Trubisky was once our quarterback. Mason Rudolph is still a damn quarterback. Skylar Thompson was there. Still there. We need a quarterback. Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. Last year, Russell Wilson beat out Justin Fields. I don't know why. Because the Justin Fields that I saw yesterday at MetLife Stadium, ladies and gentlemen, the New York Jets are in good hands if he keeps this up. He ran the football effectively. He threw it effectively as well. Justin Fields, that was one of the more impressive games I've ever seen him play. If I'm being totally honest, 16 for 22, 218 yards, not exactly knocking your socks off, but he didn't throw any interceptions. He ran well with the football. He was making things happen. Got to give love where it's due. Had 2 touchdown runs. Finished with a quarterback rating of 119. Yo, Justin Fields was doing his thing. Garrett Wilson showed you what he can do. Breece Hall can run with that damn football. The New York Jets couldn't stop Aaron Rodgers, though. And if you're a Steelers fan, let's understand what's going on right now. Aaron Rodgers' decision-making, his experience, his savviness, all of those things come into play. And even though you don't have another elite wide receiver opposite DK Metcalf, even though Calvin Austin is no scrub and what have you, the bottom line is this. Having Jonnu Smith and Freiermuth at your tight end spots, I think is very, very helpful for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I got to give love where it's due as it pertains to that. Let's get that out the way. Now, as we sit here and we look at what happened with Baltimore and we look at what happened with the Steelers and we look at the fact that Cincinnati barely squeezed out a victory over the Cleveland Browns, winning 17-16, where you had Jamar Chase and T. Higgins combined for 5 receptions and about 49 or 59 yards, something like that. That's putrid. But if you think I'm worried about Cincinnati's offense, you got another thing coming. I'm not. Okay? Joe Burrow is that dude. What I was worried about was Cincinnati's god-awful defense. And that wasn't the case yesterday. They showed up. Now, you're going to get Joe Flacco and the Cleveland Browns, and I get that. And it's not an offense that's expected to knock your socks off. But still in all, Cincinnati, for the first 2 games of the season over the last 6 years, combining 12 games, they were 1-11. I called for a national investigation into Zach Taylor and the coaching staff at the Cincinnati Bengals because I wanted to know what the hell they were doing all of these off seasons. The season starts in September. How come they're never ready? They don't win games. Why? With their talent. But they won yesterday. So we got to give respect where respect is due. And if Cincinnati's defense can give you anything, look the hell out. Because I guarantee you, you ain't going to be able to contain Jamar Chase and T. Higgins with Joe Burrow for but so much longer. I promise you that. I promise you that. Anyway, getting back to Aaron Rodgers, let's listen to what he had to say about beating Coach Aaron Glenn and the New York Jets. Take a listen to this sound, please.
You spoke about the meeting with Aaron Glenn on McAfee a few months ago. Beating him, is there significance in that, since he basically told you to your face that he didn't think you were right for that team?
Yes, that's what he did.
So there's significance in beating him for you?
I was happy to beat everybody associated with the Jets.
Let me say this. I don't blame Aaron Rodgers one bit for saying that. You're Aaron Glenn. You were a defensive coordinator in Detroit. You get hired as the new head coach for the New York Jets. Yeah, you don't want Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback. This is an experienced veteran, a Super Bowl champion, a 4-time league MVP who flew across the country on his own dime because he was expecting a conversation. And inside of 5 to 10 minutes, you basically tell him you're moving in a different direction and don't have any kind of conversation whatsoever. That's very rude. It's not the end of the world. There's no reason for Aaron Glenn to be fired because of it or something like that. No reason for people to hate on him or whatever. But I'm like, damn. You couldn't have called him over the phone and told him that so he didn't have to fly across the country just to have you tell him that to his face? That's very disrespectful. So the fact that Aaron Rodgers stepped out on that football field and balled out the way that he did, I'm very happy he did it. But that doesn't mean I'm rooting against Aaron Glenn. Ain't too many black head coaches out there, you know. I mean, it was 7 openings. Only one of them got, only one black individual got the head coaching job. That was Aaron Glenn, but I digress. The point is that I think Aaron Glenn had the Jets ready to play yesterday. Offensively, defensively, even though they got to Aaron Rodgers a few times, their defense still left a little bit to be desired, which was something you didn't expect from an Aaron Glenn team. You expected it to be the other way around. You expected the Jets defense to be elite. You wondered about their offense and what it was going to do. And I don't know what to make of it. I don't know whether it was about Justin Fields and the Jets offense or it was about a Pittsburgh Steelers that couldn't seem to stop a cold when it counted, couldn't get them off the field when you needed to half the time. That was my concern with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh Steelers, if they're going to be anything close to a team that's a playoff team, that's going to finally win a playoff game since the first time since 2016, their defense is going to need to look a hell of a lot better than that. Because as far as I'm concerned, if the Steelers offense can give you what they gave you yesterday on a continuous basis, the Steelers can challenge for the AFC North crown. I'm not saying they're going to beat them because I don't think they'll beat Baltimore, but you can challenge for that crown if the Steelers defense shows up. So I just wanted to say that. 888 Mad Dog 6 is the number code. It's 888 Mad Dog 6. Let's go to the phones. Let's go to Roland, or Ronald rather, in New York. You're live with Stephen A. What's up, Ronald? How are you?
What's going on, Stephen A?
Talk to me, bro.
What's going on, Stephen A? Week 2, baby, week 2.
No doubt.
I asked you Friday about your boy Aaron Rodgers. I'm not going to get into all of the points, but I'm going to say this. As you always say, pump the brakes. It's week 1. The season is a marathon, not a sprint. But I'm going to say this. Your boy looked good. He looked good.
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers.
Then say his name. You say his name, Ronald.
Aaron
You
Rodgers.
don't. You don't just say he. It could have. That's what I can tell.
He looked good.
That's what I could tell. You didn't like the dude. Say his name. Don't be saying that the dude is good. Be specific. We want to know exactly who you're talking about.
Stephen A., let me say this.
Go ahead.
If that offensive line can keep him healthy, they got a problem this year with that man. I'm going to leave it at that.
There you go.
I'm going to make my point.
Say it if it's true.
I'm a Dion Dawkins fan. That interview you did with Dion Dawkins was wonderful.
Thank you, man.
The insight we got from a player about mindset, winning cultures, teammates feeding off of their leader is what's missing with Baltimore. And as much as we are investigating Taylor in the slow starts in Cincinnati, we need to investigate John Harbaugh to find out why can't his team close tough games.
17 double-digit deficits overcome towards John Harbaugh. He's given up 17 double-digit leads. That's a problem. That's a problem. Blown double-digit leads in the second half under John Harbaugh, the most since at least 1991. That is a problem. That's a
we
problem.
need to investigate
All right.
that. He's a great coach,
Right.
has great talent, but that needs to be addressed.
I got you. I appreciate the call, man. Thank you so much. Christopher in Tampa, you're live with Stephen A. What's going on, Christopher? How are you?
Stephen A., I'm good, thank you.
Man, yo, call me with more energy, Chris. Pump it up, baby. Get that bass in your voice. You sound excited talking to your boy Stephen A. You sound excited, bro. Come on now, let's go.
Stephen A., I'm always excited to talk to you, Stephen A., and I have to agree with your take on Baltimore. I think they still are the Super Bowl favorite. I'd like to hear what the odds are in Vegas still on the Super Bowl favorite, because it seems to me Baltimore is a step above the rest. And here's why.
Okay.
It's redundancy on their offense. Let's say they suffer an injury to Derrick Henry. I mean, the talent that they now have with DeAndre Hopkins making one-handed catches, Lamar Jackson making moves that Michael Vick is going to be
right.
jealous of.
That's right.
This team can suffer an injury, still be there. They'll want to be 100% healthy in the playoffs, but their path to get there, I think, is an easily predictable that they're going to win 13, 14 games this year.
If Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson play like they did last night, and there's no fumble for the opposition to lean on, the Baltimore Ravens win in at least 14 games. It's just that simple. Appreciate the call, my man. Thank you. Let's go to Jerry in Cali. You're live with Stephen A. What's up, Jerry? How are you?
Stephen, I'm fine. Thank you. Hey, listen, I wanted to, before I make my point, I wanted to thank you for something you did many, many years ago. I was at Dodger Stadium with my father, who was very elderly, and this guy, we're walking through the door, and you're right there, and I was about to say hello to you, and this guy kind of cut my dad off going into the door, and you called out the guy, and you said, hey, that's very rude. You let the man go through. And my dad died the next week.
Oh.
We talked about that up until he was ill, but we talked about that up until that, and I never had a chance to thank you, and I wanted to thank you from the bottom of my heart.
You, sir.
People out there, you need to know something. Stephen A. comes across, he's very brash, he's very intelligent, he's very this, that, and the other thing, but at the end of the day, he's a very nice man, because you didn't have to do that, and I get a little emotional talking about it now.
Well, I appreciate
anyway,
it. God bless
you.
God bless your father, and God bless you. Thank you so much for saying that. Appreciate it.
That's your family. But, Stephen, don't head coaches get paid a lot of money to make those decisions?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Which decision? Which you talk about the 4th and 3 decision where John Harbaugh decided to punt instead of keeping him the ball?
John
Yes.
Harbaugh punting.
Yes.
When you've got John Harbaugh punting, when you've got Lamar Jackson and you've got Derrick Henry can fall over and get you 3 yards.
Mm-hmm.
But when you've got that, why would you give him the ball back? Why would you give Josh Allen the ball back? Because that one decision, I think, cost Baltimore the game. I think you're right. Now, there's no saying that they would have picked up the first down.
You got to go for it.
On Lamar Jackson.
You got to go for it.
You got to.
You can't have Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson, and considering the way that they were playing for 3.5 quarters, and not give them an opportunity to convert a 4th and 3 for you with 1.5 minutes left, knowing that the alternative is for Josh Allen to get the ball, and all he needs is a field goal. Now, if he needed a touchdown, although I would have been nervous, I would understand the decision better, because you got to get in the end zone. But there's no reason on earth, as far as I'm concerned, considering the way Josh Allen was rolling in the 4th quarter, that you put the ball back in his hands with over 1.5 minutes left, and you know all he needed was a field goal, which Matt Prater obviously converted. You don't do that. I'm sorry. Lamar Jackson's holding on to the ball. He's holding on to the ball. I'm sorry. I'm not giving it up.
Bless you, Stephen A. You're the best.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Let's go to, let's see here. Dave in Florida. You're live with Stephen A. What's up, Dave? How are you, man? How's everything?
Hey, Stephen A. Great. I love your show. I got a couple of things I want to say. I love your show, first of all.
Thank you.
And I hope you guys have a little. Will you guys ever have a crossover with Mad Dog? Because I love Mad Dog.
I don't need a crossover with Mad Dog. He's on TV with me every Wednesday. He's already invaded my studio the second day here. He's talking about me all the time with his big bullying self. And I like to troll him before he comes on. Plus, I re-air after he goes off the air, which, by the way, sometimes I'll come on live if there's breaking news or if I'm just in the mood to do it. It depends. So we don't need to cross over. And by the way, can I say this seriously for a real second, Dave? I think Mad Dog has the best opening in sports radio.
Oh, he does.
You know,
he does.
Is there anybody alive out there today? I mean, I love it. I think that so why would I want to cross over and interrupt his open? We don't want to mess with that, Dave. We don't want to mess with that.
That's true. Now, I just want to get your opinion on tonight's game. I'm a huge Bears fan. I think Caleb is the man in Chicago.
Yep.
Ben Johnson has got the system and got the process in place. Is this a defining moment right now for Caleb in this game because of his short career? But obviously we know what happened with Eberflus.
David, let me tell you why I disagree with you about that. Right. First of all, let's get this out the way. Ben Johnson's already 1-0 because we saw how putrid Detroit's offense looked without him. And Dan Campbell may have some explaining to do before all is said and done because their offense looked so awful in Detroit without Ben Johnson. Remember, he decides to go with this guy Morton as his offensive coordinator instead of Engstrand, who's the offensive coordinator with the New York Jets right now, because he had an opportunity to be between Engstrand and Morton and picked Morton, and 2 days later, Aaron Glenn scooped up Engstrand and brought him to New York. And look at the way the Jets offense looked yesterday compared to what the Detroit Lions offense looked like yesterday. So that's something to keep an eye on. Having said that, we can't do that to Caleb Williams. We can't sit up there and say this one game, albeit Monday Night Football, in his second season is a defining moment. Yes, this is just the second season. He's with a new coach. His first year was basically with a defensive coordinator disguised as a head coach who allowed the man to go out there and get sacked 68 times. 16 more than anybody else in the National Football League. The brother was on suicide watch as a quarterback for the Chicago Bears last year. So let's give Caleb Williams a little bit of time. We know that Jaden Daniels is putting pressure because it's a number 2 overall pick in the draft a couple of years back. We see how sensational Jaden Daniels was in his rookie year last year. And because he's been so sensational, we're like, damn, Caleb Williams, what you going to give us? But the point is, this is his first game under a new coach, new system. Now, they've given him some weapons with Odunze, with Moore. We get that part, okay, and we understand that. And he got DeAndre Swift in the backfield. We know they've got the pieces offensively to make some noise, but I still say give him more than one game. I think tonight's game is intriguing because you got J.J. McCarthy. And J.J., to me, Dave, the bigger question is I can't wait to see all of this faith in J.J. McCarthy. The man hasn't thrown an NFL pass, and I'm talking about for a regular season game, because he got hurt last year, his rookie year. He was the 10th overall pick or so, and you let Sam Darnold walk out the door after guiding you to a 14-2 start last year before nosedives in the last 2 games of the regular season. The guy throws 35 touchdowns, just 12 interceptions. He's balling out for you for the most part last year. You let him walk out the door. You don't want Aaron Rodgers. And all of this is for a rookie, essentially, that's never played in an NFL game. I know Kevin O'Connell, the coach, is a quarterback whisperer, but I got to see J.J. McCarthy tonight to really, really believe what the hell I've been hearing. I got to see it, Dave. What say you? Dave? Dave's gone. My bad. I'm sorry. Let's go to Tay in Memphis. You're live with Stephen A. What's up, Tay? How are you?
Hey, how's it going, Stephen A? I appreciate you taking my call.
I'm good. Thank you for calling. What's going on?
All right. So I'm very excited right now. You guys can't see me, but I'm jumping up. I'm hyped up like when you are doing your Stephen A's list. How you jumping up. That's me right now because Justin Herbert and the Chargers, Jim Harbaugh should be talked about in a different I can't think of a word, but I think they need the respect now, because
one game
leading up to the game.
One game. Come on, Tay. Come on, Tay.
But we couldn't do it. The story was we couldn't do it.
All right, Tay. First of all, that's not true. Y'all have given Kansas City some tough games in the regular season. That's number one. Justin Herbert was sensational. 25, 34, 318 yards, 3 touchdowns. It was shocking that Jim Harbaugh threw the football more than he ran the football because nobody expected him to do that, okay? Because they have been emphasizing the run. But hold on. Xavier Worthy gets hurt. First play of the game, running into his teammate, Travis Kelce. Separate his shoulder, going to be wearing a sling and all of this other stuff, right? You got that Rasheed Rice. Rasheed Rice out for the first 6 games of the season, suspended. So let's I'm just saying, they were devoid of a couple of their weapons. But it doesn't take credit away because I like McConkey. I love the job that Keenan Allen did because Mike Williams came there. He ultimately abruptly retires. Keenan Allen, they summon him to work. He shows up, has about 7 receptions for, he was impressive as well. So let's give love where love is due. To the Los Angeles Chargers, I like them. I think they're going in the right direction. I think Justin Herbert is a stud, but the brother's only 41-38 as a starter, and he has no playoff victories in his 6th season in the National Football League. Come on now. You can't just be saying that one game is going to decide all of that. Come on, bro. Can't do that.
Can we at least say that now that the Chargers are a real contender of the AFC Division West? Because leading up to
who they play next week? Who they play next week?
The Raiders.
Okay, so so let me ask you this: what if they lose to the Raiders?
Oh man!
See what I'm saying?
Really?
See what I'm saying? I'm just saying. See what I'm saying?
We just took down one of the 3-headed monsters in the AFC. Now we're going to
hold on. I did not say you were going to lose to the Raiders. I said, what if they do? In other words, if you're sitting here and saying this based off of one game, a win over the Chiefs, what if they turn around and wet the bed on Monday night versus Geno Smith, Pete Carroll, and the Las Vegas Raiders? What if that happens? I'm just asking, if it happens, what you going to say then?
Okay. If it happens, Stephen A. And that's a huge if. We still have another division game right after that to take care of the Bo Nixons of the world. Because I told you last Friday, those who thought that Denver was going to win this division should be drug tested immediately. Because we saw what Bo Nix did, didn't we?
Well, we saw him struggle, but we also saw him win. So the bottom line is this: Chargers next 3 games. They're in Vegas, and then after that, they're home against Denver, and then they're on the road against the New York Giants. So as far as I'm concerned, the Chargers should win 2 of the next 3 games. They should start out the season 3-1. If it's 2-2, I'm gonna be looking at you salty. I'm gonna be like, yo, where's Tay in Memphis? Where the hell he at? He need to call back to explain himself. That's all I'm trying to say. That's all I'm trying to say. I like the Chargers. I'm not sleeping on them. I appreciate the call, Tay. Thank you so much. I'm not sleeping on them. But listen, Jim Harbaugh, listen, he always wins his opener. He's 6-0 as an opener, as an NFL coach in openers. All right, he always does that. But we just going to summarily dismiss the Chiefs and act like, oh my goodness, you know what, they were fully loaded and that's all it was. Rasheed Rice is suspended for 6 games to start the season. Xavier Worthy is expected to miss time and wear a brace upon his return. The Chiefs wide receiver tandem of Rice, he missed 13 games last year, and Hollywood Brown missed 15 games, a combined 28 games they missed last year. We can't ignore that. All I'm trying to say to you is that the Chargers deserve credit. I got that. The flip side to it, however, is that Kansas City wasn't fully loaded. They weren't fully loaded. We got to be honest about that. And by the way, I personally believe the Kansas City Chiefs are still punk drunk a little bit. See, they didn't lose the Super Bowl. They got their ass kicked. There's a difference between losing and getting an ass kicking. There's a difference. And ass kicking psychologically warps you to some degree. It can galvanize you. It can motivate you. It can strengthen and harden your intestinal resolve, or it can make you wilt because you know what it's like to be humble when you get knocked out. And I'm going to be using a lot of boxing analogies this week, because I got Canelo Alvarez and Terrence Crawford coming up Saturday night in Vegas. I love big fights in Vegas. Love it. So I'm going to be very, very excited about that. But let's just be honest, man. Let's be honest. Kansas City ain't fully loaded. Let's not act like they are. Hour number 2 up next right here on the Stephen A. Smith Show. Got the Monday night game to get into between the Chicago Bears hosting the Minnesota Vikings, which I touched on. And I got to touch on the Miami Dolphins as well. I can't stand a football team that can't play in inclement weather. I just can't. Not that was the case yesterday, but you know what I'm saying. That and more coming up. Plus, I am going to talk a little boxing. It's a big-time boxing week. Stephen A. Smith Show, hour number 2 up next. Let's go.
Unfiltered.
I'm not sold. I'm sorry.
Unapologetic.
I'm not trying to talk about him.
Unlike anyone else.
But knowing y'all will probably make me.
This is the Stephen A. Smith Show.
You know, sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, certain things should be outlawed. I mean, it's hard for a human being to be as happy as I am to be back on radio. I just love it. I really, really, really do. Stephen A. Smith Show just debuted last Tuesday, September 2nd, after Labor Day weekend. The Stephen A. Smith Show on SiriusXM Mad Dog Sports Radio, coming at you every weekday from 1 to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over the airwaves of SiriusXM Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82. And it then re-airs after Mad Dog comes on with his afternoon drive show from 3 to 6. The Stephen A. Smith Show re-airs from 6 to 8 p.m. Occasionally, I'll show up at 6 o'clock, for a little bit to just restart things. Just rev up again, because that is what I like to do. What can I say? And make no mistake, don't rule that out, because that's definitely a possibility with me. By the way, every NFL game is on SiriusXM. Tonight at 8:15 p.m. Eastern, the Vikings and J.J. McCarthy take on Caleb Williams and the Bears on Monday Night Football. Hear the Vikings broadcast on Sirius 81, XM 226. The Bears broadcast on Sirius 83, XM 225, and the national broadcast on NFL Radio, Channel 88. You can catch all the action on the Sirius XM app. And I also told y'all about the Get Sirius app that the Sirius XM has developed primarily for me. I mean, I'm sure others will use it as well, but definitely for me, because obviously everybody likes to get on the calls, and sometimes, you can't catch me. But you can leave a voice message, and as a result, I'll listen to it, and if I like it, I'll give it a grade, because there's several grades I can give it. Make no mistake about that. And when I'm giving these grades, obviously it resonates with yours truly. So keep that in mind. I got 5 categories that I basically classify everything as, okay? You got we don't care, blasphemous, lost your damn mind. Now that's serious and respectable. So I just want to keep that in mind. And by the way, to give you an example of what I'm talking about, SiriusXM.com/GetSirious. That's just leaving a voicemail there. And you can also leave your number there, because if I like you enough, I might call you. So keep that in mind as well. Let's listen to Austin in Cranston, Long Island say something. Let's hear what he has to say.
Stephen A., this Dolphins team is an absolute joke. My prediction is that McDaniel is gone by Christmas Eve, whereas Tua and Tyreek both gone by the draft. Book it.
Austin might not be wrong. I watched the Miami Dolphins. Listen, when you get your ass kicked by Daniel Jones, that's just bad. Here in New York City, you see the backdrop. Here in New York City, we know who Daniel Jones has been. We know who he is. You talk about a dude that, I mean, people were willing to pool money together to give him just to get the hell out of town. Daniel Jones showed up yesterday in Indy and didn't look bad at all. But the biggest story is how bad the Miami Dolphins looked. They looked soft. They looked unaggressive. They looked damn near apathetic and incompetent. And I think that the trickery and the slickness and, all of these this gadgetry and this gimmicky way of coaching is going to come back to bite Mike McDaniels. He's no longer that dude anymore. First 2 years in Miami, they got in the postseason via the wild card, and they lost both games. They've never won a playoff game with him there. And then when you have a situation where Tyreek Hill comes and he wants out, and he's clearly not happy, and his relationship with Tua Tagovailoa seems to be weak at best. They don't seem to be on the same page. It seems like everybody's day is numbered. Now, keep in mind, there's the same Miami Dolphins franchise that had an opportunity to draft Justin Herbert and went the route of Tua instead, considerably shorter and more prone to concussions than Justin Herbert has ever been. So that's what happened with Tua Tagovailoa. There's no way around that. Okay, we know he can throw the football. We know he can play, but in the same breath, he's relatively miniature, and he doesn't have the size, the look, the arm strength, etc., of a Justin Herbert. And it's clear that when Brian Flores was the head coach there, he wanted them to go in a different direction. That of Justin Herbert and Stephen Ross and those guys thought otherwise. And now look at the Miami Dolphins. Not that Herbert has won any playoff games either, because he hasn't. But in Miami, my number one critique of the Miami Dolphins is I can't stand a football team in the national, especially in the National Football League, college or pros, especially in the National Football League. I cannot stand a football team that can't play in inclement weather. Now, that wasn't the case in Indy yesterday. They just got their ass kicked. They just got bum rushed, and we get that. But do you know that the Miami Dolphins don't win games in 40-degree weather or less? The minute it's cold, they don't want to play. Now, as somebody who's very familiar with South Beach, very, very familiar with South Florida, and the weather and the other amenities that come with that locale, I can understand how most people would be distracted being in Miami. It ain't supposed to be the damn football team. You, the Miami Dolphins, you play in the AFC East. Your divisional opponents are in Buffalo, New England, and New York. None of them are Florida. If I'm the Miami Dolphins, they're so damn awful in inclement weather, I would petition the National Football League to put them in the AFC or the NFC South. Take them the hell out of the East. In the South, who do you have? You got Indy, you got Jacksonville, you got Houston. In the NFC, who do you have? You got Atlanta. You got New Orleans. You got Carolina. And let's not forget Tampa. I mean, I'm just saying, come on, y'all. I'm just looking at the Dolphins. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Last time a team scored on every possession of a game was 1977 until yesterday. That's what the Miami Dolphins are like. Tyreek Hill is on the sideline just going off, and I don't blame him. But don't forget to blame yourself, bruh. You were in Kansas City. They did offer you money to stay. The Dolphins came and offered you a little bit more. There's no crime in you taking the money and running and departing from Arrowhead Stadium to go down towards South Beach. We get it. No state income taxes, beautiful weather, beautiful quality of life. I got it. Here's the flip side. When you left, you sat up there and said that Tua Tagovailoa was just as accurate of a passer as Patrick Mahomes. You implied that he could do everything that Patrick Mahomes could do, which should have made you get drug tested immediately. That's what happened with Tyreek Hill. You won a Super Bowl in Kansas City. You were going to be competing for Super Bowl titles. Remember when Miami went up against Kansas City a couple of years ago in the playoffs? And they said, Stephen A., who you got? I said, what's the weather? They said it was going to be like 10 degrees. I said, Miami Dolphins don't have a chance. And ladies and gentlemen, that's usually the situation. The only time I saw that defied was when Tampa came into Veterans Stadium before the Philadelphia Eagles moved into Lincoln Financial Field. And back in like 2002 with Warren Sapp and Keyshawn Johnson and the crew, and they beat the Philadelphia Eagles, shocked the living hell out of me because I was there. Ladies and gentlemen, you would have thought I was 350 pounds. I had on like 2 or 3 snorkels. I had on like them thick-ass pants and stuff for the wintertime. I had on like 3 pairs of long johns on top of one another, a large, an extra large, and a double XL. It was freezing. It was freezing. It was an ice bowl-like kind of atmosphere. That's the only time I ever saw a team from a warm weather city roll up into a visiting cold confine and knock off a squad. But I remember years ago in San Diego with Dan Fouts and Kellen Winslow Sr. and Charlie Joyner and the crew had to go to Cincinnati against Kenny Anderson and them boys. They didn't have a chance. Most times, teams residing in warm weather cities can't deal with the cold. Nobody personifies that in the modern era than the Miami Dolphins. They are a waste of football space in cold weather. They are a waste of time. A waste of time. And Tyreek Hill elected to go there. Joke's on him. Brought it on himself. Brought it on himself. No way around it. We can slice it any way we want to. But that is the deal. Plain and simple. 888 Mad Dog 6 is the number to call up. That's 888-623-3646, 888-623-3646. You're listening live to the Stephen A. Smith Show on Mad Dog Sports Radio. Let's go back to the phones. Let's go to Bill in Michigan. You're live with Stephen A. What's up, Bill? How are you?
Doing just fine, Stephen A.
Talk to me, man.
Doing just fine. Happy to be alive. You're all right with me except for your 3 hates. Now, what I wanted to ask you about was the schedules between the Lions and the Chiefs.
Okay.
You're concerned on which one has
I don't have the schedule. I don't have the schedule in front of me, but that's not my concern. It's not a priority for me, and I'm going to tell you why. If the Chiefs are on their game, they can handle whatever schedule you put in front of them. The Lions losing both coordinators in Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn, and their offense looking as putrid as it did just yesterday against Micah Parsons and the Green Bay Packers, who I also got to get into a little bit, by the way. I think that there are reasons more than the schedule for the Detroit Lions to be concerned. That's where I'm at with it. I'm looking at the Detroit Lions right now, and I'm like, you had how many teams in NFL history had 2,000-yard receivers in the same season and 2,000-yard running backs? With Gibbs, with Montgomery, with Jameson Williams, with Amon-Ra St. Brown, with Laporta as your tight end, every damn body practically had a 1,000-yard season. They were absolutely ridiculous offensively. And Ben Johnson walks out the door, and Morton takes over as your new offensive coordinator, and y'all can't do a damn thing. That's bad.
And if they had a one, would this be your same soliloquy or whatever you call it?
Say what? What you say?
I said if the Lions had a one, would this be the same attitude?
No. Of course it wouldn't have been, because they had to beat Green Bay. Green Bay's a title contender. You know Green Bay's a title contender, right?
Yes. How long would it have been before you said what you just said about?
How would I know that, bro? How would I know that? The point is that they were lethal offensively. And I came into this season thinking that Detroit had a chance. It was no guarantee, even after the acquisition of Micah Parsons, that Green Bay was going to win the division, that it was going to be Detroit that they was going to have to go through. And only one game has happened, and I get that. But my point is if the brain trust for the franchise has departed, meaning Ben Johnson as your offensive coordinator, okay, and y'all can't seem to score a damn point without him, that's a problem. Now, they went in the red zone 3 different times over 35 minutes, but you expect better from them considering how prolific this offense was. You still got both running backs, still got both receivers, you still got your quarterback, you got your tight end. What the hell happened? So I'm looking at it from that standpoint, and I'm not happy with what I saw, but I believe in Dan Campbell. It's just that I don't know what this offensive coordinator, what he's worth. I know Eggstrand, who Aaron Glenn brought over from Detroit to New York, looked pretty damn good coaching the Jets yesterday. I'll tell you that much.
And your 3 hates, Kawhi, LeBron, and the Cowboys. You shoot a move on them every time you get a chance to. Why?
Because I want to. Is that good enough for you?
Big that.
Hold on, let me tell you something right now. Hold on, bro.
Good enough for me?
Hold on, bro. My name is Stephen A. Smith. I'll talk about who the hell I want to talk about. It ain't like I'm devoid of facts when I open my mouth. Yeah, there are people that I don't like. There are people that I can't stand. There are people that I love and all of that stuff, but I do what the facts tell me to do. And I always make sure that I'm fair, and I know what the hell I'm talking about. But make no mistake about it, especially on the Stephen A. Smith Show right here over Mad Dog Sports Radio, Sirius XM Channel 82. If you think I talk smack on my television show, it ain't compared to what I do on my own radio show for 2 hours. Trust me, I ain't even beginning to unleash on people's asses yet. I'm just getting warmed up. If I'm being quite honest with you, I'll talk about who the hell I want to talk about. Make sure we understand that. Have a good day. Talk to you later. Speaking of people I want to talk about, I want to get into the New York Giants for a second. Expect to see Jackson Dart by week 3. Giants going to have a new quarterback after week 2. No disrespect, but Russell Wilson ain't the answer. And if Brian Dable and Sean, the GM, want to keep their jobs, Jackson Dart is going to be your quarterback by week 3. Because you lost week 1 and you ain't winning week 2 either. I'm just telling y'all what I know. I'll explain why and then some in a minute. You're listening live to the Stephen A. Smith Show, Sirius XM, Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82. 888 Mad Dog 6 is the number to call up. That's 888-623-3646. Your calls and more NFL stuff, and some boxing in a minute. Don't go away. Again, it's the Stephen A. Smith Show on Mad Dog Sports Radio. Holla.
Back to the Stephen A. Smith Show.
In college football, South Florida pulled off a huge upset over Florida. In the NFL, Josh Allen led the Bills to an improbable comeback win over the Ravens. And in fantasy, the Ravens duo of Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry led fantasy football managers to Week 1 victories. We are talking football right now on NFL Radio, Channel 88, and Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82. College Sports Radio has college football covered on Channel 84, and the Fantasy Football Talk is on Fantasy Sports Radio, Channel 87. Or listen on the Sirius XM app. Back to the calls in a second at 888 Mad Dog 6. That's 888-623-3646. You're listening live to the Stephen A. Smith Show, Sirius XM, Mad Dog Sports Radio. Let me say this. Ladies and gentlemen, in the world of sports, you watch the games. And if you know anything about the games, when you watch, you have an idea of what you're seeing. Aside from having no idea of what you're seeing, you also listen to commentary, you read articles, you do all of this stuff. And if you're somebody that's in the business like I am, you have researchers. And they give you all of this information. So there's always a boatload of information to defer to anytime you want to. In my case, I also pay attention to these two eyes that I have with 20/20 vision. And when I see stuff, I kind of know. And let me tell you what I noticed watching the Giants look impotent offensively against the Washington Commanders yesterday afternoon and losing the way that they did. What I saw in watching them is a guy in Malik Neighbors who looked at the New York Giants, his own team, and said, we ain't worth a damn. That's what his body language showed. We ain't worth a damn. Because you see, they know they don't have a quarterback. Now, that's not to disrespect Russell Wilson. He's a Super Bowl champion. He's been to back-to-back Super Bowls. Not many people are going to forgive Pete Carroll and Darrell Bevell and himself, meaning Russell Wilson, for throwing that interception at the half-yard line against the New England Patriots when all you needed to do was give the ball to beast mode. Marshawn Lynch, that's true. But in the end, what it comes down to is this. Russell Wilson, who had some good games for the Pittsburgh Steelers last year before nosediving over the last 5 weeks of the season and then losing in the playoffs to the Baltimore Ravens, we just looked at him. And the Steelers obviously felt they needed to go in a different direction. The Giants wanted some veteran leadership. We get that part. We also know their offensive line sucks. They don't have an offensive line. They can't protect their quarterback. They can't run block. All of those things are true. Evidenced by Russell Wilson being your leading rusher with 44 yards. Okay? All of that's true. Brian Dable can coach. Okay? He really, really can. But he needs help. He doesn't have it. And contrary to what I know they're going to do, Brian Dable has something different to say about his quarterback situation right now. Listen to what he had to say. Check this out.
Is it safe to say that Russell is still your starter?
Yeah, sure. I mean, we're just right here after the game. I got confidence. We got to do better around overall, coaches, players, around everybody. So, we'll get focused and ready to go on Dallas. Go ahead, Brian.
In fairness, you're not answering this. It sounds like you're not answering.
Well, we're talking about after every game. I got confidence in Russ. So we're going to go back. We'll evaluate the tape. This game isn't on Russell Wilson. It's not on Russell Wilson. I'm going to make that clear. So I have confidence in Russ. We got to do a better job all the way around.
What else is he supposed to say? He's not making this decision. Joe Schoen, the GM for the New York Giants. Mr. Hard Knocks, especially when it came to Saquon Barkley. That dude. He's running the show. What is Brian Dable supposed to say? He's a coach of the year. He's somebody that helped develop Josh Allen into what he has clearly become as a reigning league MVP and a superstar in this league. But Brian Dable knows what we all know. That guy right there, Joe Schoen, the general manager for the New York Giants, it's his call. And so he's going to say stick with Russell Wilson. And I can't blame him or them in this regard. You don't want to take somebody like Jackson Dart and throw him to the wolves because you know you can't protect him because your offensive line just ain't good enough to do it. So that makes sense. But here's why you have to put him in early anyway. Because Brian Dable's job is on the line. And so in all likelihood is Joe Shane. And what you don't want to do is hesitate and procrastinate and put yourself in a position where you end up losing your job because you're sticking to Russell Wilson. You don't want to do that if you're them. If you want to go down, you want to go down swinging, which means you roll the dice and you take your chances with this rookie who was clearly very impressive in preseason, so much so that he's the QB2 on this squad, not Jameis Winston. That's what you want to do. Because when you see Jackson Dart and the way the team appeared energized in the preseason, when you got a cat like Neighbors who is just a baller, you cannot ask him to go out there every week and be enthusiastic about playing for a team he knows sucks. You can't do that to him. You got to give him a chance. His body language told you all you needed to see. We ain't worth a damn. Giants going to be 0-2 after this upcoming week. And once that happens, if you want to try to salvage not just your season, but your career as a head coach, your career as a general manager, you better put Jackson Dart in that game. Not this coming week, but I'm talking about week 3. You better get him ready. And you better roll the dice and do something. Because if the Giants season is over before it even begins, you ain't going to have much to look forward to. And by the way, speaking of the New York Giants, the so-called gold standard once upon a time, do y'all know that since the Giants beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl in 2011, the Giants is arguably the worst franchise in the entire National Football League? Did y'all know that? I mean, they're really bad. Even when people pointed to the Jacksonville Jaguars, I'll remind y'all they were in the AFC Championship game in 2017 against New England. Giants haven't sniffed at relevance since 2011. They haven't sniffed at it. So I just wanted to point that out. By the way, speaking of people that's on the line, don't think Mike McDaniels is going to last either. Stephen Ross ain't playing. Status quo is unacceptable. This change coming to Miami, too. And it ain't just Tyreek Hill. Believe that. Make no mistake about it. Let's go to Craig in New York. You're live with Stephen A. What's up, Craig? How are you?
Hey, man. As much as I'd like to argue with the Giants not being relevant, man, oh, man, yesterday proved that point.
Yeah, they're bad, man. They're pretty bad.
Yeah. I don't know. I've been a Giants fan my entire life, and right now it seems like it's same old, same old. And as much as I'd like to argue the fact that Jackson Dart shouldn't start, my God, I don't know what more evidence you need. I was kind of iffy on the whole Russell Wilson wanting to, be the starting quarterback, be the veteran leader, which I thought might have been a good idea, but It just seems like it's not the case today.
There's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do, Craig. Craig, what are you going to do? Like Craig, if you're in Brian Dable's position or Joe Shane, right, don't you have to put Jackson Dart in sooner than later?
It's not even a question.
You have to put him in. You have no choice. You have no choice.
And they're as much as I'd like to argue it, their jobs are riding on starting him. And I knew it was going to happen if they came out of the gate and won. It would have been a different story, but they came out of the gate and they couldn't even punch it in from 7 yards out. And I don't know what else. What other?
Well,
listen.
You need. I'm sorry that you sound so depressed, but I can't help you, my brother. Right now, the Giants are 9-26 under Dable, dating back to Week 1 of the 2023 season, which includes a 3-14 season that featured the most losses in the franchise 100-year history. And oh, by the way, you know what? They were the first team. Yesterday, they became the first NFL team to go 3 consecutive season openers without a touchdown since the 1940-42 Detroit Lions. I mean, my God. That's just awful. Just awful. Awful. Appreciate the call, man. Sorry that had to be the bearer of bad news. Let's go to Raja in Edmonton. You're live with Stephen A. What's going on, Raja? How are you?
Good. How are you? Welcome to 82.
Well, damn right. It's good to be here. Go ahead, man. Talk to me. What's up?
I'm a huge Mahomes fan.
Okay.
I feel lucky when I watch him, just like when I used to watch Michael Jordan.
Okay.
So my thought is, ever since Eric Bieniemy left our offense, we've been looking more and more pedestrian, man.
Okay.
So Nagy was nothing special in Chicago, and he ain't nothing special now. So why can't we bring Eric Bieniemy back and get the offense as it used to be?
Roger, I appreciate the call and thank you for it. What I would say to you in response to that is that even when Eric Bieniemy was there and the offense was prolific, make no mistake about it, the flip side to it is that Andy Reid was still calling the plays and he's calling it now. So in a lot of people's eyes, it's not going to make much of a difference. Let me stay in Canada. G in Vancouver. You're live with Stephen A. I'm getting calls from all over the country and all over the world. What's up?
What's
going
up,
on, y'all?
Stephen A? What's going on, man?
Talk to me.
Canada loves you. Canada loves you.
Appreciate it, man.
So I cheer for the Cowboys, unfortunately. And the way the Ravens ended up, I'll call it what it is. It was a collapse yesterday. Do you think that's more of a personnel issue or a coaching issue? What do you think?
What I would tell you is this: too many blown leads, taking your foot off the gas. They clearly have the talent. When you have this much talent and you've got 17 blown double-digit leads in your career, it's definitely the coaching. And that's not to say that John Harbaugh is not a damn good coach, because he is. He's a champion. But you can't blow that many double-digit leads. You just can't do it. Yeah. And he has done that. And when you consider the talent that he has at his disposal, what the hell is going on? That's a legitimate damn question. And to me, it's no excuse for it. It just isn't. You can't have that happening. All right?
100%. Thank you, sir.
I appreciate the call. Thank you so much. Let's go to Connor in Indiana. You're live with Stephen A. What's going on, Connor? How are you?
Stephen A., you're the GOAT.
Thank you, man.
And,
Talk to me.
So what do you think was Patrick Mahomes' biggest, most important Super Bowl? I think it was when he faced Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and lost. He should have just drilled in, focused, and went even. I know.
Well, I agree with you, because losing to Tom Brady, that's where it starts. But the bottom line is this: he was running for his life the whole game. They said he ran about 4 or 5 miles that game, because he was running for his life because his offensive line couldn't protect him. You know, he was missing a couple of tackles that game and what have you. And then we saw the Eagles, when he didn't have his left tackle last year, and we saw the Eagles send a front four after him, never blitzing, not one time the entire game, dropping 7 in the coverage. And we saw what kind of effect that had on him and the Kansas City Chiefs. So I would tell you that, you know what, I get where you're coming from, but it's not like he's been the problem. It's that you've caused him problems because you haven't protected him.
Yeah, I understand.
All right? So that's really what it comes down to. Appreciate the call, my man. Thank you so much. Let's go to Steve in California real quick. You're live with Stephen A. Talk to me. Steve? Steve, are you there?
I'm here.
All right, speak up, bro. You live on the air.
Okay, brother.
All right.
I looked at the screen yesterday. I'm looking at just the size of these two teams, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Giants, the Commanders are bigger, stronger, faster. The Eagles are even bigger. They got to play these guys 4 times a year. The roster construction is for some kind of elegant tea party.
Okay.
This is a street fight.
Well, if it's a street fight, the Giants gonna get their ass kicked on the regular, because they don't have the horses to pull it off.
Listen, you're right. And what's his name? That quarterback. Why don't they call sprint plays, rollout plays? He can't stand in the pocket.
Again, you're talking about Russell Wilson, who's in his late 30s. But the point is, more so than anything else, here's the question. This is the only question that Giant fans have to ask themselves. Already just one game of the season. This is the only question. Despite a weak offensive line, is it worth putting Jackson Dart out there earlier than later? My answer is yes, because it's the only chance that Dable and probably Shane, the GM, has of keeping their jobs. Without that, they got no chance. That's how I view it. Appreciate the call, Steve. Thank you so much. 888 Mad Dog 6 is always the number to call up. That's 888-623-3646. Back with your calls and more. some boxing as well to close out the show. Stick around. You're listening live to the Stephen A. Smith Show, Sirius XM, Mad Dog Sports Radio. Back with more in a minute.
Back to the Stephen A. Smith Show on Mad Dog Sports Radio.
You want to get at me, but not necessarily on live radio because you didn't want to stand online or waiting. You want to just play a voicemail message for me to pick up? Just go to SiriusXM.com/GetSerious. Send in your voicemail message. Leave your phone number if you want to, and I'll get right back at you. Just don't waste my time. Don't waste my time with some soft-ass take, okay? I like people to be a bit brave with their takes, to speak with their chest, to let them know, yo, this is where I stand, this is how I feel, this is where I'm coming from. I like that, okay? That's how I like it. That's what I want. That's what I'm thinking about, okay? Go to SiriusXM.com/GetSerious and make sure to leave your message for me, and I'll play it for you, just like I'm about to do right now with Brian from Brooklyn, New York. Let's hear what he has to say.
Stephen A., let's talk about the passing of the torch. It's time for Mahomes to hand it to Josh Allen, the Superman of the NFL, and Howard Stern, he should pass the torch to the new king of media, the Bronx Bomber, Stephen A. Smith. Love you, man. All right, I'm out.
Appreciate the love. Appreciate the love. I find that to be a very respectable take. That's the grade I'm going to give it. Respectable is the name that comes into mind. First of all, I don't know if I look at myself as the GOAT, but damn it, I'm up there. I'll take credit for that one. I'm up there. Number one. Number two, Mahomes to hand the torch. No, you can't hand it to them. Josh Allen got to go take it. They're around the same age. They're both studs. But Patrick Mahomes is a 3-time Super Bowl champion who's played in 5 of the last 6 Super Bowls. Josh Allen ain't been to one yet. And at least 2 of those times he hasn't made it is because Patrick Mahomes denied him the opportunity to go. So let's keep that in mind as well. So it ain't time to pass the torch yet. Josh Allen is a stud, no doubt about that. But it's one thing to beat Lamar Jackson. It's another thing entirely to beat Patrick Mahomes. And by the way, you Lamar Jackson against Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes over the last few years, you're like 1-5. My brother, that is not good for a 2-time league MVP with the talent to be a Super Bowl favorite to have on their resume. I'm just saying. It's worth pointing that out. 888 Mad Dog 6 is always the number to call up. It's 888-623-3646. Let's go back to the phones on a couple of things. But first, hold on a second. Let me transition real quick, y'all, to a little bit of boxing. All right? Here's my deal. I love boxing. I don't have time to watch every match or whatever, but I love me some boxing. I go back a long, long ways in the world of boxing. Thriller in Manila, okay? Rumble in the Jungle, you know, along the way. I remember the days of the great Salvador Sanchez, God rest his soul, and how big time of a fighter he was. Sugar Ray Leonard against Hearns. Hearns knocking out Roberto Duran and Pepino Cuevas. You know, Marvelous Marvin Hagler knocking out Hearns but losing to Sugar Ray. You know, Hearns giving Sugar Ray a detached retina, and Sugar Ray had to retire before coming back into boxing. I mean, I've been watching boxing all my life. All right, it's my second love to basketball, even though football is right up there. And I can tell you, as somebody who has been to Vegas on many occasions, there are very few things in life for me better than a big-time boxing event in Vegas. Big-time boxing event in Vegas. The only thing that has ever compared to that was a UFC fight between Conor McGregor and Khabib Nurmagomedov, which was a spectacular, spectacular setting, okay? It's just something. Vegas for a big event is where it's at. And I just got to let y'all know that. Having said that, Saul Canelo Alvarez versus Terrence Crawford. I mean, Canelo's a monster. And for him to see, I'm torn because on one hand, I think that Terrence Crawford is legitimately, arguably, the top pound-for-pound fighter on the planet. You can bring up a couple other names, but Terrence Crawford is spectacular. And his beat down of Errol Spence was something I never thought I'd see. Not to that degree. I've never seen that before. I was shocked that he did that. I picked him to win the fight. I didn't know he'd beat the living hell out of Errol Spence the way that he did. That's why I'm glad we haven't seen Errol Spence fight again since, because he needed that kind of break from the sport. Canelo Alvarez walks around, however, and has moved up and has been fighting at the super middleweight class for quite a while. I've seen Canelo Alvarez take punches from Triple G. So it's hard for me to imagine that Terrence Crawford is going to knock him out, which means that in order for Terrence Crawford to beat him, he's going to have to win by decision, and he's going to have to box for 12 rounds. Terrence Crawford cannot stand in front of Canelo Alvarez and take hits and win this fight. He'll get hurt if he does that. I'm predicting he won't. I'm picking Terrence Crawford to win this fight by decision because I think if he sticks and moves, Canelo won't be able to catch him. But you can't have, Canelo hitting you with those body shots. Even though I'm a huge, huge fan of the Charlos, the smaller Charlo that Canelo fought, he had no business in the ring with Canelo. I give him major props for surviving the 12 rounds because Canelo stalked him from the second round on. And he done got that kind of power to keep Crawford off of him. Now I'm wondering, is Terrence Crawford, who got a mean streak and I think has deceptive power, can he be a guy that's going to beat Canelo? Because what he did to Errol Spence, never saw that coming. Can he do it to Canelo? I don't see anybody that can do that to Canelo. I know Bivol beat him. I get that part. Decision when he moved up to light heavyweight. Okay? I saw him knock out Kovalev. But Canelo is natural now at 168. The one part that I'm upset about is that David Benavidez, the Mexican monster, so named by Iron Mike Tyson. David Benavidez is an undefeated champion who deserves a shot against Canelo Alvarez. I hate the fact that Canelo has been allowed to make him wait all of this time for that matchup. David Benavidez is special. And I'm telling you right now, that brother is something to behold. And he's a natural super middleweight who's moving up to light heavyweight for those fights because Canelo wouldn't fight him. I don't like that. But I do love Canelo. And I do think Canelo is great. I just think that Terrence Crawford is smart enough not to stand in front of him in the box, and he may win by decision. But it could end up being an epic fight because Terrence Crawford ain't trying to back up from nobody like that. It could be special, y'all. It could be special. 888 Mad Dog 6 is the number. Call us 888-623-3646. Back to the phones we go. Let's go to Robert in Indy. You're live with Stephen A. What's up, Robert? How are you?
What's going on, Mr. Stephen A?
Talk to me, bro. What's up?
Yes, sir. I wanted to talk to you about, you was talking about the New York Giants.
Yeah.
And we just so happened to get Daniel Jones. But do you think that was something good for Indianapolis? I mean, he's been playing good.
Well, we'll find out. We'll find out. We don't really know. Because Steichen, he's got his job on the line as well. They got to be productive. And if you're Anthony Richardson and you get beat out, you're a 4th overall pick a few years ago, and you're getting beat out for your job by Daniel Jones. Anthony Richardson Sr.'s future is in grave doubt, to be quite honest with you.
Yes, it is. I think he's going to be gone after this year.
Okay. I appreciate the call, my man. Thanks a lot, Robert. Let's go to Brad in New York. You're live with Stephen A. Talk to me, Brad. What's up?
Stephen A., welcome to the channel. It is an honor and a privilege to speak with you, my friend.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. What's up?
Hey, listen, about the Giants, you nailed it on the head. They were talking in the preseason about putting Jackson Dart in as the starting quarterback. The optics, perfect on your part. I couldn't agree more. 45 years watching this team. The optics told it all yesterday. This is a team that has no talent. They are no better than last year. So why not put the kid in there and let him gain his experience? Yes, he's going to get beat up, but this guy is coaching for his job, and he needs to know what he has, Stephen A. I'll leave you on that note, my friend.
The only hesitation is that he could get slaughtered because that offensive line is so weak. That's the only hesitation. I just don't think Dable and Shane can help it. I don't think they can help it. I think they have no choice. I think they got to put him in. They got to build him in because the team looked defeated. They were defeated in the second quarter. They looked like they had no belief. And Russell Wilson going down the sideline and patting his offensive lineman and stuff like that, that didn't move anybody. They didn't care. They really, really didn't care. That's just how I'm looking at it, bro. I appreciate the call. Let's go to E. Fleming in Georgia. You're live with Stephen A. What's up, E. Fleming? How are you?
I'm good, man.
Talk to me. What's up?
Hey, look here, man. If Jordan Love is not the truth, I don't know what the truth is, man. You can swap Jordan Love with Philadelphia, Super Bowl. You can swap Jordan Love with Miami.
Stop that.
They got
Stop
12
that.
games.
Stop that BS. Stop that BS right now, E. Here's the deal. You're thinking about his talent. Nobody's questioning Jordan Love's talent. We know the brother's a stud. He can ball. Make no mistake about it. Ain't no scrub in this brother. He can ball. The issue is in big games, does he step up? That's the question about him. And you can't just sit up there and say, oh, put him on Philadelphia. Because let me tell you something. There's plenty of quarterbacks that could lose in Philadelphia. Even though you got A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert and Saquon Barkley in the backfield and one of the best offensive lines in football, you can still mess it up. Jalen Hurts does not. He's played in 2 of the last 3 Super Bowls. He's a reigning Super Bowl champion and Super Bowl MVP. You saw him on Thursday night, how composed he looks. The brother makes the right decisions. He can fling the football. He can run with the football. He can do whatever it takes to win because his priority is winning as opposed to looking good. We got to throw some love on Jalen Hurts, even more so than Jordan Love, if we're being honest, E.
Hey, I agree with Jalen Hurts because I'm a Philadelphia fan. But, hey, people just ain't paying attention to Jordan Love, man. That dude out cold, man.
Yo,
he out cold.
how you going to say we're not paying attention to him and then we're acknowledging that he has the talent to help the Green Bay Packers win the Super Bowl, but you got to show up in big games?
Adam Stevens, well, y'all got to give me some help now.
Oh, come on now. Don't give me no damn help. You didn't just say that. You did not just say that. Green Bay don't have help for him? With all the weapons that he has available to him, they don't have help? That's a scrub running out of the backfield instead of Josh Jacobs? Romeo, where art thou? Romeo is your wideout? We going to ignore that? We going to ignore Kraft in the tight end spot? We going to ignore some of the weapons he's got? Stop it. Get on out of here, E. Call me back another day with that bogus argument. I ain't trying to hear it. And by the way, speaking of Green Bay, I'm really happy for Micah Parsons. Got a sack, got 3 pressures, played about 27 minutes, whatever it was yesterday. He spoke after the game about what the last few months have been like for him. Let's make sure we play that for the audience, Sean. Let's remind them of what Micah Parsons had to say after Green Bay beat up on the Detroit Lions yesterday.
This last 6 months was super draining, super toxic for everyone. I mean, it's something that, I don't think no player should have to go through. I think players' fate should be decided earlier. I think the fact that I was traded a week before the season, it was really outrageous and rough.
Amen. He's right. Micah Parsons deserved better from Jerry Jones. Micah Parsons deserved better from the Dallas Cowboys. Micah Parsons is elite at what he does, getting to the quarterback. We all know that. We saw the pressures that he was applying yesterday to Jared Goff. But most importantly, we know what he's meant to the Dallas Cowboys over these last 4 years. And for him to be wondering about his future, for him to have to ask for a trade, for Jerry Jones to think that sitting down and talking to a 25-year-old and equating that to a contract negotiation when you know he has representation and you've been negotiating before he was born, to do that to that kid should rub us all the wrong way. I love Jerry Jones because I know what Jerry Jones has done for so many people that have played for him. And yeah, you can have some players that he may not have helped, but there's an awful lot of players that he has helped along the way. And he continues to help along the way. And he continues to employ along the way. And we got to give credit where credit is due with that in regards to Jerry Jones. Okay? He can be stubborn as hell, hard-headed as hell. You understand? And he's a billion. You can't bring up race talking about, he's treating the young brother like that. He ain't put Jimmy Johnson in the Ring of Honor for 30 years over his ego. So let's understand that this is Jerry Jones regardless of color. It's just that and they were friends and went to school together. It's just that it's one of them things where you just look at it and you say, Jerry, come on now. Come on, Jerry. You could do better. Come on, Jerry. So I'm really happy for Micah Parsons, and I'm wishing him nothing but the best. And if the Green Bay Packers end up winning a Super Bowl, I am quite certain that he'll have a lot to do with it. I'll say that, no doubt. Let's go to T Love in Philly. You know I ain't calling you Love again. It's T from now on. But go ahead, T. What's up?
Here we go. What's up, Stephen A?
Yes, sir.
Hey, listen here, man. Before I go anywhere, man, I want to shout out my man D. Woody, man. He looked damn good today, man. I want to shout him out before.
Just give it to him.
I had the audacity to come on your show and say something about that. So I'm going to give him his props because he deserves that.
Everybody, listen, a dead clock is right twice a day. He had his moment. Congrats. Want a cookie? Let's go. Go ahead, man. Go ahead. Give it to him.
All right, here you go. How you going to? Oh man, by the way, hey, thank you for deciphering what Mad Dog said. I ain't never been able to understand what he said.
I got you. I got you. Hurry up, though, man. We got to get ready to get on out of here. Hurry up. Go ahead.
Listen. How can you make the Super Bowl when you play Madden football? You got two great quarterbacks and surrounded by great players. But are these teams great? I'll let you go from next.
They are great. I think the Buffalo Bills and the Baltimore Ravens are great. You're just gonna have to find a way to get past Patrick Mahomes. It's really that simple. That's what's been standing in their way. Chuck in Indiana, you're live with Stephen A. Real quick, Chuck, go ahead.
Hey, Stephen A. First of all, I love you, buddy. My question is, with the way Detroit looked last night, do the Bears have a chance to make a run in that division? I mean, not win it, but.
I think they got a chance. I think they got a chance to make it interesting. First of all, let me be very clear. I'm a believer in Caleb Williams. You know, Kevin Warren is the CEO. You know, Pace is their GM. I mean, I love their coach, Ben Johnson. And I think they're moving in the right direction. Caleb Williams was sacked 68 times last year. That's 16 more than anybody else who got sacked in the National Football League. What the hell is he supposed to do when he ain't got no damn protection? Okay? But you got a Dunze, you got Moore, you got Webb, you got Swift out of the backfield. We know they got some weapons to do some things now. And I think that if the play calling is right, I think we're going to see some special things from Caleb Williams in the years to come. I think they got a chance to compete, but I still see no better than a third place finish, probably last place, because you're in the same division as Detroit, Minnesota, you know, obviously in Green Bay. So that's a lot to ask. But there's a difference between those teams being superior and Caleb Williams being sorry. And I don't believe Caleb Williams is sorry at all. I believe in that brother. And I think he's going to do some things. I'm really interested in seeing J.J. McCarthy tonight. Sam Darnold threw 35 touchdowns, 12 interceptions last year. And Kevin O'Connell, some quarterback whisperer, saying the hell with all of that. We got this cat that hasn't even thrown an NFL pass in the regular season because he was hurt last year with the meniscus tear. And he looking at him and going like this. He's the future. I'm like, really? Really?
I don't see how they got rid of Donald after that.
Listen, I don't see it, but I'm saying they got me curious because Kevin O'Connell can coach his ass off, and we know what he can bring, and we know what he's done. So you want to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I'm very anxious to see what J.J. McCarthy has done because I haven't watched him since they won the national championship over Washington at Michigan. I haven't seen him, so I don't know. I got to see what he's going to do on this NFL level if I'm going to believe in him moving forward, all right? There's a lot to look forward to. Monday Night Football tonight, the Minnesota Vikings visit the Chicago Bears. Plus, Canelo Alvarez, Terrence Crawford, big fight this Saturday night in Vegas at Reliance Stadium. Plus, a whole bunch of NFL stuff that I didn't get into from yesterday's game. I can get into all of that tomorrow and then some. Again, I'm just getting started. The Stephen A. Smith Show, week number 2 on Mad Dog Sports Radio in the house. Holla at you tomorrow, same bat time and channel. Peace and love.